Let's take a look at our next drill here, and we're going to look at a drill called snapback, and we're going to focus this entirely on the right side. One of the biggest kind of underrated things we feel in freestyle, especially with all athletes in our program, is going to be the head positioning when we take that breath. Not only the head positioning, but how quickly that head is taking a breath. This is something we want to emphasize throughout all the levels and throughout the swimmer's progression through those levels as they're moving through our program, whether that's developmental, age group, or a senior level athlete. So let's take a look at some of the key kind of features here and things that we look for. This drill here is going to be done with fins, and this is really kind of important to kind of start this drill out with that, just so that the athletes focus on traveling forward and can really work the breath. Now here we're going to look for just the kind of the kick staying up at the surface. We want to make sure that we are looking for that natural bend in the knee, not anything excessive. That way we can really tell that the kick here is going from the hip. It doesn't need to be an all-out kick or a fast kick, but just maybe somewhere a little bit under that, and even maybe even slower. Somewhere between subtle and moderately fast as they're kicking. Non-stroking arm here is going to be up at the side, and our athlete here is just going to take the breath. When we take the breath, we want to be able to take that nice and low. Head here is staying on the side, just kind of like the head is laying on a pillow. We'll take a look a little bit more on the return view here in a little bit to see where that head positioning is. Now you can see here our athlete returns that head under the water a little bit. For a more advanced athlete, that is completely fine. We actually really like the emphasis of a bow wave here on that upper back. Age group swimmers and developmental swimmers, when they return that head in, we would emphasize that that head stays kind of right at the surface as they're moving and without pressing the either arm or head or chest under the water. So everything should just kind of stay up at the surface. The thing you'll have to watch here is going to be the hand as it's traveling through the water. We'll be able to see this a little bit more on that return view as well. But overall here, athlete does a great job. Quick breath, snapping that head back into the water very, very quickly. And that really helps actually set up the arms for a really correct position that we would look for underwater. So this is a really great job here by our athlete. Underwater, we're just going to, again, kind of look for some of those same things that we've talked about. We don't want to kick too far deep under the water. We don't want to kick too high out of the water also. So we look for just kind of that natural bend in the knee, that we're not kicking too hard. Let's reset that right here. Sorry about that. And then we just kind of keep moving through. The fact that we see lots of just white water here usually will be a pretty good indication that we have a nice, very, very active kick. Maybe that'll be the way to describe the kick, actually, just having a very, very nice active kick. And just keep moving the legs. All right, on our return view here, we'll be able to get a different perspective. So again, nice active kick, which is absolutely what we want to see. Here, our athlete, so we kind of see here how low that head is staying. So we kind of are going to be able to see the water line just a little bit more than halfway. Goggle line should be right on the edge of the water. We're going to return in. And again, age group and developmental swimmers should keep that head kind of in that high position. Here we're going to just kind of have a little bit of a different emphasis for our older athletes with that bow wave. And then what we want to watch is just the hand here. Kind of see how it drifts a little bit. So this is the feedback item that we would give to our athlete, that we want to make sure that we're keeping that hand out here a little bit more along where the shoulder is. So that way we just are going to continue to focus to drive ourselves to go forward. A little bit of driftage there is going to be normal, but just make sure that we're continually giving our athletes feedback about that. Well, we do a great job here. Nice position. If we take a look under the water, we can kind of see And what we don't want to see is just a lift of the head. So here kind of see that the head stays right along the surface, and then boom, quickly get that head back in. Eyes then become looking downward. And then again, we can kind of see that bow wave created right there. But our athlete does a really great job with that. So, and the other thing we can kind of see is just a little bit of driftage here with that arm. So just something, again, we would want to continue to emphasize with our athlete. But overall, this is a really, really good work by our athlete. If you found value out of this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe.